Hello and welcome to Intuitive Tarot 2.0. So this is a situational reading of that situation that you are wanting to change. How is it going? What is the energetic around a certain situation that you are wanting to change? How is it going? Which direction is it taking? What do you need to know? What you are not seeing about that situation? So, this is a reading for that situation. So, this is a collective reading. This is a collective reading. Take what resonates. So, this may not resonate with everybody, but take what resonates. So, we are going to dive into the oracle to find out the energetics of that situation that you are wanting to change. Because if we are aware of what we want to change and what needs to change, we are more likely to be able to make that change. So, this reading is giving you the tools for seeing what you are not seeing, or making the unseen seen to you, so that you can take action on what needs to be done to shift that situation. So, thanks to those who are just watching the channel newly, and thanks if you are returning and supporting us. We are very, very appreciative of your support. Please continue to subscribe, like this channel, introduce your friends and family to this channel. So let's get on with the reading. So this is the oracle card. So we're going to take one oracle card to determine the energetics of the situation that you've been wanting to change. What is the energetics of the situation that the collective is wanting to change? What is the energetics of the situation that the collective is wanting to change? What is the energetics of the situation that the collective is wanting to change, please? What is the energetics? So I'm just putting more of the cards, just picking that up to see what, just shuffling that to see what comes through. You know what? Spirits have a way of really making fun of us, and this is one of the situations. I mean, release blocks. So we know we want to release blocks, right? So there's something in the way, there's something getting in the way. And this is the question that we are asking about. So, guys, I think that they are aware, they know about the question before I ask this question. And oftentimes they put the question in my consciousness because they want to speak to the collective about it. And this is one of the reasons. So I feel like with this card, release. Yes, it's obvious to release the blocks, the falling moon. So I feel what this is the waning moon. So when we've gone past the full moon, it's the in between. So the full moon is also at the full moon point, it's releasing between two obstacles, right? So there's these two opposing forces, or there's these two not seeing eye to eye because something is blocking, right? So what is this? What needs to shift? Which block needs to be released? So they've given us clear information that I'm going to put these cards here. Clear information that this situation is blocking, has got block, and blocks need to be released. Either these two, either this block need to be shifted on both sides. So let's dive in. So Spirit, give me what needs to change, what needs to be released. What is this block? What is this block that needs to be released for the collective in this situation to move the situation forward? What is this block that needs to be released for the collective to move the situation forward? What is this block that needs to be release for the collective to move this situation forward. What is this block that needs to be released for the collective to move this situation forward? You see, movement. I feel, first of all, this is movement. I'm going to talk more about this and I'm going to get more clarifier. This is the way, changing the way we think. So mindset change. The six of swords originally is movement. So it's all about shifting perspective, shifting your mindset about it. Give me more. Give me more. What needs to be. Oh wow, cards are falling. So this is coming upside, almost upside down. The cards are falling, guys. So I'm just picking the cards and releasing conflicts. So what needs to be? So I feel the blocks is all mental. It's all mental. So if I am rearranging the cards, regardless of how they came out, so I feel this is mental, releasing, changing the perspective of how we see things, of how we see the block. The way when I'm moving cards around in that way, they are spirit is just giving it's just giving me the go ahead to change the placements of the cards that way, because there's a message that they want to give. There's a message in that placement is that is needed for the collective. So so I feel this is the cards, this is the way that they want this placement for these cards. So needs to be what needs to be changed in this situation that the collective have been wanting to change? What needs to be changed? I didn't know that I didn't know that I've been made to put this in this way, but it is in this way. So first of all is the courage, is the realization, the boldness that there is a block, the realization. I feel this strength is a combination of the realization that something needs to change in the first place, and the willingness to really change it. Because number one, in order to move a situation, we must become aware of what needs to be changed in a situation. We must become aware. Yes, there is a block in this situation, and we need to be aware of that block, because some people sometimes I feel some people walk around not knowing that they need to change something and just living life, just living life as they see it, but not realizing that, oh, something that they are inherently doing or explicitly doing is not supporting their highest good, and therefore creating blocks. So they may not see this. So one of the things that is being highlighted in this reading is awareness of the fact that there is a block, and to recognize that there is a block. You see this lady opening the lion's mouth. So it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to tell our ego that something is wrong, something needs to change, there is a block. You see this? So this is taming the ego, taming how the ego reacts when they hear. And some of you, when you're hearing this message, you probably be triggered, and the triggering is your ego. So you see how this lady is taming this lion. It's kind of just making it realize. It's the awareness. It's letting the ego aware. It's letting the ego self be aware that there is something, really humbling that ego side. That there's a situation that that need resolving. There's a situation that I need to be humble to. We need to be humble to put our ego aside and to really be open to change, to true change, putting our ego aside. Who is wrong or who is right, it's immaterial at this point. But the impact of what this stalemate is causing is the problem. You know, the impact of what this stalemate is causing is the problem. So, and we can see the stalemate. So this is a detail of what's been happening. So there's confusion, there's conflict, there's walking away. So there's walking away from this, from what needs to be released. And there's the stubbornness, there's the stubbornness, you know. So in order to come to an agreement here, in order to resolve, to stabilize, to resolve. So these two cards are the alpha and the omega. So this is the alpha of the situation and the omega, the beginning and the end. Everything else is just in between. So the alpha of this situation is to set the ego aside. To set the ego aside. And the omega of this is to know that there's a bigger purpose, there's a reason, there's a higher reason for why things are being the way, or for why you're experiencing what you are experiencing. There's a lesson there. There's a lesson there to be learned for all parties, you know. So we see things from a bigger perspective. So the omega of the situation is to see things from both perspectives. See things from both perspective and act from the middle place, and act from the place of wisdom. And the place of wisdom is the place of truth, because considered we've considered all options, and we've looked at the different options and come to a conclusion based on both options, taking into consideration both opposing parties. You know, but we've got to set, in order to do this, you've got to set the ego aside. You've got to calm the ego mind, and to let the ego mind that there's something, there's something that is inherently wrong and need to be resolved. And we are prepared, we are humbled, we're humbling ourselves, letting the ego, to tame the ego so that we can resolve this block. The cards in the middle are indicating what is happening. What is happening in this block? Why is there a block? Why is there things to? So there's resolution, there's conflict, and there's the need to walk away. So I feel like some of you, this could be conflict, conflicting thoughts, conflicting minds, and some of you are needing to take some time away. You are needing to move away, and I also feel like this could also be impacting on how you view yourself, on how you view things, shutting off, stubbornness, shutting off away from the world. But they are saying that there's a block, but there's the alpha and the omega of this situation. So the alpha is settling the ego, is making the ego aware that there's something here, is putting the ego aside, is humbling ourselves so that we can truly bring ourselves to a place where we can surrender into true healing, true resolution, and thus releasing the block, and release and raising this to a higher place of to a higher dominion, So the Omega position is a higher dominion, is a higher perspective, a perspective that takes into consideration all parties involved, looking at all opposites and making a decision from there. So this is change. This is number 5. It's an indication of change. So the Omega is in the change position, and the Alpha is in the number 8. Is the taming of the ego, is the mastery of that ego itself, the mastery of the lower self, the mastery of the lower self. This is the higher self. So when you look at these two pictures, so you see the higher self, taming the lower self. And this is also the higher self presiding over the lower self. So these two cards are um, similar cards, but they are both from different perspectives. So the Alpha and the Omega points. So I'm just going to get some more intuitive insights, some more insights into what is this conflict? What is the conflict all about? What is the root cause, right? What is the root cause of this block? What is the cause of this block? Take what resonates. What is the cause of this block? What is the cause of this block? What is the cause of this block? What is this block? What is this block? What is this block, Spirit? What is this block? So it's saying cassette, outdated thinking. Wow, conditioning, replaying. So this block is reconditioned, it's subconscious. This is reconditioned thought. It's the thinking, it's what we tell ourselves, the thoughts that we play to ourselves, the replay of outdated thought, modes of thinking. So this is, this is over in your head. So you can see that the swords is all about thinking. It's all about mental conditioning. So it's the mental conditioning, playing the cassettes of the past, playing the cassette, playing the old. So this is old conditioning. So the blocks stems from repeating old pattern, repeating old pattern. So the Grim Reaper, relationship is over, no second chances. Yes. So the Grim Reaper, I said this is where old patterns, old behavioral patterns need to go. So we need to solicit the Grim Reaper. The relationship is over, no second chances, where repeated patterns have been in relationship. Where you are perhaps where you are perhaps being the reaper here, you know. So, and I feel this is all about, also it's all about, and this could be about union, it could be about, it's relationship matters. So the fact that these cards are coming up is to deal with relationship, but not only relationship, but something to do with meeting of the minds, meeting of two minds. So it could be about a wedding, about a marriage, about it's, about relationship with another, the rings, the cycle of things. So this ending of a cycle of things. So this could be the ending of a cycle, because ring signifies cycle, breaking that cycle of what used to be, breaking the cycle of what used to be. So let's recap the cards again. I feel that they've given us more messages. So the reading is, the reading is what situation that what situation is the collective wanting to shift, to break out of? And there's the card of release block. It's literally release the block. So I feel there's an opposing force between two people. This card indicates an opposing force between two people. There's a force between two people that is stopping the coming together, or between two ideas forming. So it's not only people, it's about ideas, it's about things. So the card that came out is the card of strength. So this card is not only about strength, but it's about the higher self, taming the ego. It's about taming the ego to a place where it's humble enough to be aware that there is an issue, that we have a problem. So this is also a place where we are not fully being honest with ourselves, to say, actually, the problem is from me. The problem is my own end. The problem is me. I should resolve that. So it's taming our ego enough to be able to see where we need to make changes, not only the other person. So I feel this is the alpha point of the spread. So this is the alpha point of the spread. So in the middle we have conflict. So what needs to be released? I feel this is conflicting thoughts, running away thoughts about kind of where we avoid. I feel this is avoidance, where we are avoiding something. This is really emotionally unavailable in relationships to another and in relationship to our own self. This is the alpha point, and the alpha point and the sorry, this is the omega point, and the omega point is seeing all perspective, is viewing all opposites and acting from a place of neutrality. Acting from a place of neutrality. So in the spread, this is the alpha point and this is the omega point. So you can see that both are taming, both are taming our ego of sorts. So the alpha point is taming the ego, and the omega point is also taming the ego in these two people, you know, taming the ego. So they are both doing the same work, but from the different perspective. So this is the higher self taming the ego, and this is the higher self here taming our ego, right? The opposing points, the opposing viewpoints. So we've got the additional cards on top of this. So we've got the cassette. What is this issue that needs to be resolved? What is this issue that needs to be resolved? And what came out as additional information is our past thoughts, repetitive patterns, repetitive behavior, outdated thinking, conditioning, playing events over in your head, the Grim Reaper, so where situations, where relationships are over, but you just kept them on and on. No second chances, grow and transform your life. So no second chance, where we are not giving ourselves that second chance, grow and transform your life. And also the wedding ring. So this matter could be relating to a wedding. And I also feel like with this image here, with this image, I also feel like there's something about a wedding with this image not connected, not fully connected. There's something about union that need to be fully materialized or not. So this could also be rings in the form of things are just going around in circle and not changing, you know. So these are old patterns to do with relationships. Again, this is sort of coming up, not only relationships, but it's also to do with our thinking in terms of how we create, how we see ourselves, and whether we are being honest with ourselves in order to change our paradigm, to change who we see in the mirror. Do we really want lasting change? Do we really want to grow? Do we really want to move forward and manifest our dreams? we need to be able to change our mindsets. The cassettes, the old cassette, the Grim Reaper, and the wedding. So we need to change that using the alpha and the omega points. And the alpha and the omega points both are seen from a higher perspective, and they are calming our lower nature in order to fully surrender into what we need to release. So I hope that this reading is of use to you. If it has, please consider subscribing. Until next time, thanks for watching.